So you try your best to eat regular meals, regular consistent meals, breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, mid-afternoon snack, dinner, in an evening snack. You eat regular meals, but you still find yourself binge eating. What's the reason why? Because if you've been following me for a while, binge eating is a survival response to being essentially hungry, starved, deprived. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about why do you struggle with binge eating even if you're eating regular meals? You're being comfortably full with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you still have binge eating episodes at the end of the day. So hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm a dietitian that supports people who are struggling with binge eating. So the reason why you struggle with binge eating even if you're eating regular meals is, first of all, we need to understand that there's a difference between being full and satisfied. So being full is essentially being physiologically full, like food in your stomach, and it triggers a hunger response. Your leptin levels, the fullness cues, goes up and your ghrelin levels go down. But are we actually enjoying this food? Are we actually happy about this food? So there's a difference between being full and satisfied. Are you actually satisfied? Is it a meal you actually look forward to? Is it something that gives you nostalgic memories? Because sometimes if we promise to ourselves that we're gonna start eating regular meals after committing to a binge eating recovery journey, then we clear out all the cookies, we clear out all the brownies, we clear out all the foods we love or foods which are highly palatable, so you won't feel like you're going to be tempted to eat these foods. Do you feel like that's you? Or do you feel like you've done that in the past? So the goal of binge eating recovery is not just to eat regular meals. The goal of binge eating recovery is to eat regular meals, be one with your body, listen to your internal cues, and also not have any fear foods. Have all neutral foods. There's no good foods, no bad foods. So what I'm essentially trying to say is, if you cut out all the chocolates, all the cookies, all the brownies, all the foods you love, then reintroduce them back into your diet. Because if you're cutting out all the foods that give you mental satisfaction, give you good memories, like nostalgic memories when you were a child, then it's not going to really keep you full and satisfied. You're not going to be ticking all the boxes to happiness. So your stomach's happy that there's some food in there, but your brain isn't happy. It's not triggering some dopamine. And it's important to have dopamine in regular amounts. And if we deprive ourselves of the dopamine from food, the feel-good hormone, then we're going to crave or have intense need for it. We can't go from dopamine levels from 100 to 0. We can't cut out everything. And remember, food is also a social thing. It's also an important thing to build relationships with people. So oftentimes when we meet up with friends, we often meet up with friends around a food setting. We have food in front of us, like maybe some pizza, and then we eat on a table. We don't just oftentimes meet up with friends and there's no food around. Food is a good way to talk about things, to bond with other people, to build connections. So you might be thinking right now, okay, so how can I reintroduce these foods, these fear foods, because I'm really scared or worried that I'm going to start a binge eating episode on it. So first of all, there are two things, as I mentioned, being full and satisfied. So assuming that you're eating regular meals and regular snacks every 3 to 4 hours and you're meeting yourself at a 7 out of 10 out of the fullness scale, you're keeping yourself there, then you're much less likely to have a binge eating episode because you're being full and all you have to do is be satisfied. So if you were to have a craving for a cookie, for example, or a box of cookies, you're much less likely to overeat on this box of cookies because you're keeping yourself comfortably full at a 7 out of 10. So compared to last time, if you didn't eat regular meals, now you're eating regular meals, you're much less likely to have a full-on binge eating episode on this box of cookies or 2 boxes of cookies, 3 boxes of cookies. So all you have to do is just simply eat it. And it might seem really scary at first, but there's an analogy I like to share with you. So have you ever been to the toilet and then you saw a spider and then you just jumped and you didn't want to go to the toilet ever again? And then every time you walk by the toilet, you imagine that the spider's going to be there. And then you walk by it again and then you imagine this spider's going to be there. So the more you try to avoid your fear foods, you're going to strengthen its fear. You're going to strengthen the fear of this fear food. We're only assuming that this food is scary, or we're only assuming that this spider is there without even checking. So with this analogy, with this toilet analogy, try to walk into the bathroom and then just check if the spider's there. Try to, with a really strange analogy looking back at it, use the toilet And then it might seem scary, but try to feel comfortable that there is no spider. The more you do this, you try to have facts. You're basing your thoughts on facts, not on assumptions. So the same thing with food. You're only assuming that you're gonna have a binge eating episode, but now you're eating regular meals. So since you're eating regular meals, so try to eat this cookie. And if it seems too scary, try to eat this cookie after a main meal, like after lunch, after a nice, comfortably filling lunch. Try to have a cookie and see how you feel. Try to recognize the taste. Try to eat it slowly. Try to be really mindful. What flavors am I tasting? Is it dark chocolate? Chocolate chips? Is it white chocolate? Does it have much more taste compared to last time I ate it? Or can I remember actually the taste, what it actually tasted like when I was struggling with binge eating? Or am I actually really enjoying this? Then you might want to have another one, and then you might feel like comfortably satisfied and full. So the key to reintroducing your fear foods is exposure therapy. So oftentimes with our minds, we often try to assume that they're fear foods. We often assume that they're going to trigger a binge eating episode, but we need to focus on facts. We need to test these out. We need to test the hypothesis. We need to base our feelings on facts. So I hope you found this episode helpful, and this concept of reintroducing fear foods and the concept of being full and satisfied is one of the many videos on my 30-day binge reboot course, which is linked in the description of this video. But if you want to have 6 free videos to check out on what the 30-day full-on binge reboot course is like, then you can check out the Normal Eater Blueprint, which I grabbed 6 videos and tried to summarize it into the essentials of trying to be a normal eater. So I hope you found this episode helpful. So like, subscribe, comment. How did you find it? Do you struggle with fear foods? And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!